What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the A24 Archive. This is becoming one of my favorite segments on the channel. I'm moving my way into, I believe this is the eighth film in A24's catalog that I've watched, and I've had so much fun doing this because, like I said, I've got movies in here that I've never seen before. I've got films like the last episode I did for Under the Skin that I've seen a few times. Spectacular Now I've seen a couple times. And it's really cool to kind of go through their Wikipedia page and see all of the different films that they've put together and kind of move on this journey and see what filmmakers they've given the opportunity to multiple times or first times. And this is a film in A24's catalog that I had never seen before. This was a first-time watch, and actually my friend Ray, who I do a podcast with, the Film Monsters podcast, we did a live stream together on his Instagram a while back where we talked about A24 films, and this was one he put on his list, so I was really looking forward to watching this movie. And the film I'm going to be talking about today is Locke, starring Tom Hardy. Locke is directed by Stephen Knight. Ivan Locke, played by Tom Hardy, has worked hard to craft a good life for himself. Tonight, that life will collapse around him. On the eve of the biggest challenge of his career, Ivan receives a phone call that sets in motion a series of events that will unravel his family, job, and soul. My friend Ray, like I said, recommended this film to me, and I didn't really know anything about it other than I've seen the poster multiple times. The first thing I want to talk about in this film is how impressive it is what they were able to accomplish. So this movie all takes place in a car. Literally at the beginning of the movie, you see Tom Hardy at his site. He works as a person who runs like a concrete pour company where he is like in charge of all these really large concrete pours that build these buildings and get the structures together for when these buildings are constructed. You see him get in his car and he's driving, and he literally makes a call to this woman and says, "Hey, I have about an hour and 20-minute drive to get to you. When I get there, we'll handle this situation." And that's really all that you're given information to at the beginning of the film. What happens is you're on this journey with him in the hour and 20-minute car ride from his job to downtown London. And every bit of information you're given about the character is through these phone calls and through these monologues that he has in the car when he's by himself. So yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is Tom Hardy's performance. Tom Hardy is just one of the best working actors in Hollywood. I feel like consistently every time I see him in a movie, I'm so impressed with, even if the film isn't the greatest movie, he's always taking the material and making it so much more impactful. And that's what's impressive to me about Tom, is that he really is just such a captivating actor. And in this, it almost feels like he's giving a theater performance. It's so dedicated, the line delivery, and it really shows that this person's personality is very calm and collected in a way that is not for a lot of people. He's very much like, I know what I'm doing in this specific situation and I'm gonna keep doing it. And he really is very thought driven in all the decisions that he makes. He's constantly thinking about his next move, and even when little things are thrown in his path, he still figures out a way to succeed in this. So basically in this thing, he's going to meet this woman who it's implied that he's had an affair on his wife with, and that she's going to be giving birth to his child. And so you have the conversations between the woman who's giving birth to his child and what's happened in that situation, the conversations between him, his wife, and his sons when they call from the house. And then you have on the back burner, you have this conversation with his job, which is one of the largest jobs that he's ever done for his career, is going to be taking place the next morning. And he's driving to go be with this woman while she gives birth to this baby, and he's literally walking away from this job, but he also feels a responsibility to make sure that the job is accomplished to the way that he would want it to be. So you have all of those storylines being juggled at the same time, and what's so impressive is how much it emotionally hits you at each moment and how great it is. And then there's this constant scenes where when he's not on the phone, he's looking through his rearview mirror into the empty back seat and having this conversation with his father, who his dad's dead. So it's kind of just him shooting at him and saying, "Hey Dad, look how much differently I'm doing things than you did in your life." And so it's a culmination of all of those different conversations. And what's so impressive is the way the cinematographer utilizes different camera angles to keep you engaged, because because being in one setting like this, it could get really tedious and mundane. And I will say there are some moments that weren't as impactful for me that I kind of found myself falling out of it a little bit. But Tom Hardy's performance is so captivating that it's really hard not to be interested in this movie, and it's very well structured and very well done. But yeah, it really is all about the interaction between this character and these other people, and it was a really unique spectacle. I would say my biggest issue with this film as a whole, and one of the reasons why I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it, is the ending is kind of underwhelming. I felt like this hour and 20-minute drive, they really wanted to just convey to you what was happening in this situation. But the ending is kind of just like, okay, you get this thing and it's supposed to be like a little glimmer of optimism amidst this horrible situation. But it almost feels like they didn't know how to end it. And so for me, I don't know, it didn't pay off as much as I wanted it to. I feel like there's so many great emotional moments throughout the film that kind of elevate it and make it so engaging and entertaining. And when it gets to that third act and that very end scene, you're just kind of like, eh. And I don't know, I still think this is one in A24's catalog that is 100% worth your time. I don't have much more to say about this movie because it's one of those things you kind of just have to experience, because so much of it is just dialogue driven in this one specific place, and you've got like a very ambient score in the background that kind of adds to it. There's a couple of cues where like they wanted certain scenes to feel super suspenseful, so they added a little bit more of a sting to the soundtrack that I didn't feel like necessarily needed to be there. But yeah, overall I felt like this was an effective movie, and I thought Tom Hardy's performance was really great. Have you seen Locke? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this was really entertaining and well done. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. Are you enjoying these A24 Archive videos? What of my content have you been enjoying the most? I'd love to hear from you, get feedback, and see what kind of material you'd like me to keep reviewing. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.